Well, the new era of UCF football comes new jerseys. How do we like them? And what are my thoughts on it? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Charge On. As always, I'm your host, Sean Green. Thank you so much for tuning in. Episode 197, inching closer and closer. Like I said, we got some exciting stuff coming in the weeks ahead. So please like, subscribe, share, do all that you do. We greatly appreciate it. Also, I would definitely follow the Charge on Twitter. That is going to be of use in the next coming months. So definitely be following that. All right, guys. Shorter episode today because UCF decided to drop their new jerseys. And I don't think we could spend 30 minutes talking about jerseys. I think other people can. I cannot. But I think this conversation about the new era of UCF and the jerseys and what my thoughts are, I think it's a greater conversation that we can kind of delve into. But I want to put up the two jerseys, or the jerseys from last year and the past couple of years, and the new jerseys. And I kind of want to go through, because there was some discourse online. I think by all accounts, it was a glowing success. People love the new jersey. People love everything about it, basically. There's not a lot of comments that you will find online that are talking negative about the jerseys. You do have a group of people, though, basically saying nothing has changed. And I want to be honest here. At the end of the day, there are slight differences. Very slight. It isn't a massive change. Like, I think when you look at, and I also think this is not a greater problem, but people are looking at the Orlando Magic, retheme, brand new logo, new jerseys. And I think when UCF announced they were getting new jerseys, there was an expectation like it was going to be on that level. Like, oh, UCF is completely going to rebrand and do a completely new type of jersey. To which there shouldn't be anything shocking about what was released. UCF already, and this is what makes UCF unique and different. UCF is always on the cutting edge of just being unique and different, especially with their jerseys. I mean, the space jerseys alone, that is something that nobody else can say that they do. UCF has always been that unique type of school where you don't necessarily want to have the Alabamas or the Georgias that have the same jersey every single year. Switching up for UCF kind of shows you what type of program they are, and that's the program that they are pushing to be. So when we look at these two jerseys, obviously, let's look at the 2024. And I grabbed this online. I could have grabbed from a player and whatever. And this is not talking about the night mode jerseys, because it kind of looks like we are going to be getting a new version of that as well. I'm assuming it's basically going to be a ripoff of the new 2025. But as you see, you got the UCF logo right in the middle right here. The full Pegasus on the shoulder. You have the full Pegasus. And then the number font. Now, the number font, to everybody's dismay, nobody liked. It was okay. You've got the gold around the numbers. And again, it's fine. It looks good. And listen, I don't hate the old jerseys. I like these jerseys. Maybe I'm in the minority on that. I thoroughly enjoy the jerseys that they've worn. Now, let's go over and talk about the new era. You have, obviously, UCF in the middle, Big 12 logo. We'll get to the number font. The Pegasus wings, right? That's kind of the difference, is taking off the full Pegasus and just having those Pegasus wings over on the side there. You have the Polaris stars down the pants, and then you have the number font. And when you go through, and I'm going to read exactly what UCF kind of dropped about the number font, because I think this just shows you the differences in detail that UCF does compared to other programs. So the drop shadow from 1998 season, in which Dante Culpepper finished top 10 in Heisman voting. So they used the drop shadow on the number. The notches, so the little, I don't even know how you explain it, but the little spikes whenever there's an edge on the numbers. The notches that were introduced in the 2013 season also replicate the block Knight's word mark in the bounce house end zones. So again, that little extra detail in the number font. Select tones and edges inherited from UCF's Knighted font worn during entry into the Big 12. So it's obviously the newest one the last couple years. And then bigger, bolder size numbers worn from 2016 to 2021. So the number font, and this is where, and there's some more. Let me just go through it. We'll go through all of it, right? The shoulders, return of the shoulder numbers from 2016 to 2021. Obviously, UCF didn't have numbers on the shoulders. That is now returning. You have obviously the new Nike jerseys. That's kind of why UCF is releasing these new ones. You have the oversized Pegasus wings on the shoulders brought back from the 2023 Mission Space uniform. These wings embody UCF's vision of limitless possibilities in reaching for the stars and soaring for new heights. So we kind of talked about that. The number updated to Knighted eras and filled with Polaris Star perforation. So that's kind of, you could see it a little on the picture right there, that all of those little dots are actually Polaris stars, which is really cool. And then you have the Polaris stars on the pants. So in terms of, and I get where some fans are a little this is basically the same. UCF did post a picture, I'll put it up here, of just showing you the difference in the number font and how much bigger the number font is. If I can find the picture, how much bigger the number font is on the new era jerseys. And it is legit. I mean, the number is significantly bigger. We're not sure if names are going to be on the back. Obviously, that has been a staple the last however many years with UCF players having their names on the back. There is a chance that no name will be on the back. I would assume that names are going to be put on the back of the jerseys, but who knows? And in all of the stuff that we've seen, there was none. And I understand how some people are thinking and looking at these and they're not as excited. But I think most UCF fans that have seen this and have seen kind of what was released, they're really pumped and they're really excited. We've got a lot of more jerseys to see. I'm intrigued to see. I know these are going to be in the NCAA college football game coming here in the next couple weeks, so that's kind of going to be exciting. You're going to be able to see these jerseys out on the field in the video game. And then obviously, like we said, the night mode jerseys, light mode jerseys, we don't know if that's still going to be a thing, if there's going to be a version. They definitely teased it in their social media posts, which that'll be more jerseys for people to kind of rank. But I think this is a good conversation about when you get into eras, right? And when you talk about trying to define eras, and this is where I'm going to bring in the Magic into this conversation, because as you all know that are fans of this show, huge Magic fan, been a Magic fan my entire life, worked for the Magic. They are an integral part of my life. They obviously just had their rebrand. And I think a lot of people, obviously it was met with glowing success. And the reason is because the Magic didn't change anything for over a decade. They had the same logo, same uniforms, and it kind of kept that same, not mediocre, but the team had that era until now. You brought Paulo and Franz and Jalen Suggs, right? Where you needed to define a new era. It's a new era of Magic basketball. You want to define that era with a new logo, with new jerseys. And I think with UCF, it's kind of similar. Now, like I said at the top of the show, UCF has always been unique and cutting edge when it comes to stuff like this. When it comes to jerseys, you see that every year with the space uniforms. You see it in kind of how they developed in their eras. And jerseys matter. I know we're having a conversation about jerseys and about stuff like this, which really doesn't matter on the football field that much. But this little tiny, it's not a rebrand, but it's kind of a retool. It's trying to give fans something new and unique, but also give the players and UCF as a whole an updated look. And I think when you look at both the pictures and you see the subtle changes that they made, but yes, subtle, but they work. And some people could be disappointed, and I've already mentioned that a couple times, where some people love change. Some people want drastic change. I know some people really want gold jerseys, and I'm all for. Listen, here's maybe my hot take. I'm not a huge fan of the gold. If you change out the light mode jerseys instead of white, just put gold, I'd be all for it. I'd be all for the light mode jerseys being gold. That, I think, would be a very cool little switch. And let's be if they still have the night mode in light mode, right? We all know we can't read the names on the back of the jerseys. And I think UCF knows that. I think there needs to be some highlighting. I think you need to change up a couple things, especially in the night mode. I mean, straight black lettering on a black jersey is just criminal. That's, I think, the real only criticism we can give on any of these jerseys is you got to be able to read the stuff that's actually on them. And I don't think fans need to worry, luckily, about that, because you see what they've done here, and you see kind of the new era and what they've pushed out. And I think you can feel comfortable that UCF is going to do what they need to do on the night mode and light mode, if they so choose to continue that. But back to like what we're talking about with the new era of UCF football. The old era was those other jerseys, right? Like going into the Big 12, they brought these the basically new jerseys, same but new. And you are under a new regime. You are under a brand new team. And I think during this time, you have to kind of introduce something new to the fans. Not just for the fans, but like I said, to yourself, to your team, to everything that you're introducing to start this new era. And at the end of the day, jerseys do define that. Like I said, with the Magic, you can look at a jersey and know what era you're watching. You can go back and remember the Shaq and Penny days and that jersey, what that jersey represented. Then you could see the Tracy McGrady days with the Grant Hills of the world, even though he barely played with us because of injuries. You know that jersey. You could see that jersey. And then the Dwight Howard era. You know what jersey. If you see that jersey, you know it. With UCF, it's very similar. You know the 2017, 2018 jerseys. You know what they look like. You know the Dante Culpepper jersey. You know what that era looked like. And then at some point, you remember, the Dylan Gabriel era. You remember the Gus Malzahn Big 12 jersey era, right? So we all know this. You have to define eras in a way. And one way to do it is with gear and jerseys. And I know, listen, I can always find a retrospective on any topic. So new jerseys, there you go. That's my in-depth breakdown of what makes jerseys so special, and these jerseys specifically. I'm excited to see what they can do with and how they actually look. Especially the gold. Like the gold around the number, I love. Like the way that it pops. Because again, on the 2024 one, and again, in years past, it's so thin. It's a very thin layer of gold. That's bad. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But that the number pops. And I get, again, some people are saying there's not enough change. I think it's the perfect amount of change, and I think just alone the number font is sick. The number font, I love. It might make me go get a jersey. It might be behind here. Who knows? But I think with this rebrand, not even rebrand, retool with the jerseys, I think UCF is cooking up something special here, and I think this is going to be the perfect jersey to bring in this new era of UCF football, start it on the right foot, and have the players looking really good on Saturdays this fall. So, got a couple more jerseys. Hopefully, again, the night mode and light mode. I'm intrigued to see what they potentially do with those, if those are even still a thing. And then obviously the Space jerseys going to be dropping here in a couple months. Probably, I'm assuming August. I forgot when they dropped it last year, but that's going to be it's always an event when the Space jerseys drop. So obviously really, really excited for those. Guys, let me know what you think. Obviously, this is a quick little breakdown of the jerseys. I'll link everything down below so you guys can go see kind of, again, explanations, look at some pictures of it. It's been a couple days, so you probably have a good idea of what you feel. Let me know down in the comments, what do you feel? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Do you wish they did more? Do you think they did perfect? Let us know. We would truly appreciate it. Guys, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Charge On. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. Do all you do. We greatly appreciate it. Hey, while you're at it, if you've made it this far, you're a true fan and you watch the podcast. I would really appreciate dropping some comments for next week's episode down below. We are looking for content. We want to answer your questions. So drop down in the comments below questions you have for next week's episode, and it may or may not be answered on next week's episode. So, all right, everybody, this has been Charge On. We will see you next week.